what else is there when you're in this space? You just flow. You go to the market, you take your nap, you do your work, whatever it is that you enjoy and where your flow goes. You do whatever is right. You don't necessarily, run and take charge of things here, there, and everywhere and scatter your energies all over the place because that's what thinking says or somebody else says you should do. You just flow in this way. Action flows out of you. So, you get this argument that, well, okay, you can talk about meditation, you can talk about being in love, but what about the real world? What about social action? I said, you know what? Social action flows out of you as is right, as is out of this place. It flows out of you. You naturally help the poor. You naturally donate to this and that. You naturally go and help your neighbor. You may not run to every disaster around the world because that would be dysfunctional. It wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to do it, and you wouldn't be effective. But you don't do what other people think you should do. But you naturally assist other beings in this dimension.
Yes, and who needs to be assisted by you seems to show up. I'm just remembering a couple of days ago when a turkey walked down the driveway and came to have a consultation with Jessie, and then left. I have no idea where that beautiful turkey came from.
Yeah, and they appear and disappear. I mean,
yes.
Who shows up? Here you're feeling vulnerable. Your body's hurting. You go, oh God, I wish somebody would help me now. I need help on a very physical, human level. And somebody comes, and they're the angel of compassion.
It's so true. I found the more focused I am, and just going very deep with my own currents, the people and the animals that show up, that come here and contribute, come in such a way of emptiness, not empty like anything's lacking, just like ease, flow,
openness, yeah.
Openness. Yeah. Nothing more is needed. It just feels so right. It feels so clean. Yeah.
And even people we might judge as less evolved when we're in our thinking place, there they are. They're sweet angels of mercy. They're sweet, loving beings. If we're walking in that open space, we find, oh, there they are in their sweetness. It actually brings their sweetness forward. And that's why, like Peace Pilgrim and many other people, St. Francis, and you name it, all of us, when we're in this space, we draw out the goodness that we are. Yeah. That's in everybody. And the murderer, the person, the rapist, whoever, they just were raised that way. They're in a place on their path where they need some other kind of direction. We don't know. But if we just stay in the place we're meant to be on our path, and we cross paths with them, and we're meant to have this interaction, they go, oh, I remember. Oh, this is where now I can be some other way. I thought there was only one way to be because they were in their thinking, human socialized thinking, that the only way you can live is with murdering people.
Well, that's just a beautiful way to know life, because you're reminding everyone who's listening to this, and you're reminding me that conditioning is really nothing more than conditioning. It's something got taught, it got taught again, and then in the environment of somebody else's love and a way of being or doing, someone can just remember that can discover.
It can all change.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of us, require some kind of disaster, because it kind of shakes us out of conditioning, out of all that thinking, and we go, here we are vulnerable, and we go, oh, what is there? Well, what is there but to take care of each other?
Yeah.
What can we do? What would we do? How else would we live? We don't even have to think about it anymore, because that shake-up, that cataclysm kind of knocks it out of us.
Yes, yes. In a way, it's a very compassionate move, these disasters that come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can be,
Yeah.
they can be, and they can shake people out of, well, what's real? What's really real? I know before the harmonic convergence in 1987, I used to get about a yearly shake-up where God, the divine within me, would kind of take away everything, and I would be left with, well, I have nothing. I have no thinking. I have no, I don't even know what to do. Well, there isn't anything to do. But what was always left, the bottom line was kindness.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how can I act? Well, after everything was removed and I was thoroughly scoured out, what was left at the bottom was kindness. So it would begin to flow from me a kind act to myself, to other people, whatever. And then once the harmonic convergence came, there was a radical shift in how these transformations happened. They became happening more quickly, more radically, people bumping up in their awareness much quicker, and now we're in, Transformation City every microsecond.
Yeah.
So that these, as you said in the beginning, these states of love, the state of sweetness is available to us, and we're, in a way, we're scoured every moment and asked to let go of what's not essential. Don't cling to it, because really it's all gonna be whipped around, and the essential is going to be left, and we're continually made into new beings, but there's something coming. And I've seen the stages so far, but I don't know what's coming next. I have ideas about it, but I go, it can only get better. Even among, I sort of relish the transformations, even though people regard them as disasters, because I go, well, look what's happening. People are being reborn.
Yeah, and like you said, there's something natural, there's a wave of something natural. You said kindness, and it could be any quality. It could be care, it could be compassion, it could be honoring, it could be respect, it could be love, it could be, but there's these natural undercurrents that are really happy to move through us.
Yeah.
And when something gets our attention about, hey, what's really essential here? Well, what's really essential here is some quality like love or kindness. It's not very willful. With like meaning the human will. It's not so much a decision. It's more of it is a choice, but it's not a thought out decision. It's just that in the moment that we're aware of what's essential, these waves keep moving through us. A wave of caring, a wave of reaching out to someone, a wave of happiness, a wave of sometimes I'm interacting with people that are feeling that they're very befuddled by things or everything's very painful, and I'm finding myself in joy. I'm not in joy that they're having that experience. I might be having a compassion that they're having that experience, but I'm having a joy, and I'm finding that when I'm allowing that to be the case, because that's really what's happening, when I'm allowing what's happening to be recognized by my individual self tenderly, that, like you said, other beings around start to catch it. It's like a happy virus. It's the opposite of a virus.
Yeah, I got to tell you an experience, Laurie, that keeps coming up.